everybody, and welcome back to part 14 of the X-Wing fighter build. Today we're going to work on the base. I scrubbed the old base that came with the kit. It was a little flimsy and stuff like that, so I came up with a new idea, and hopefully you like it. Check it out. I think this is going to work way better anyway. And then we'll start, once we get that together and do some things to prep it for having power coming up through, we'll start painting her. So let's get started. Well, hello and welcome back. We're going to work on the base for the X-Wing. I scrubbed the weird little stand that it came with. I just didn't like it. It was real flimsy. The ship didn't want to do this, and so I scrubbed that. But what I did do, if you remember, is I had some resin castings of these Death Star plates that come with little like Bandai kits. You can see where the guy who made them put the little blanks that you put in. This would be where a stand would go if you had a ship, or you can put blanks in them. Like there's a blank area on this one. It's there. They put a blank there, but he actually cut a groove in it so it looked like a panel. On this one, well, I don't know. Usually it's right about in these areas. This one I'm not sure because it's a really hard place to put one of these, so I'm not sure, but that's what these are. They're resin copies. I got these for the Death Star trench run from Bandai. I wanted to make it longer because I didn't just want the X-Wing. I wanted, you know, the 3 TIE fighters chasing them, Darth Vader and the 2 co-pilots, the co-wingmen, I guess you could say. So I wanted them on there, but I had to extend it, and also put a Y-wing on there too. So I have the Y-wing, and then Luke's going to drop his torpedoes, and had, you know. So I had to get a bunch of these to extend it, even the wall, floor and the wall I extended. But I had a bunch of these left, and so I'm like, why don't I just pick 4 and make that a display stand? I have still another 20 more of these left. And I might order more from this guy if he has them, or I can just make castings myself. But these came out really nice, so. But yeah, I have 20 more for my studio scale TIE fighter. So you can think of 4 of these. Here's each one of these is a square, as you can see. And I used JB weld to weld them together, and a little super glue to fill in any of the cracks. And then I took the surface primer and went through here where it didn't squish through. And that's fine. It's the Death Star trench. So. Or surface, it can be anything he's flying over, to be honest. And I picked, you know, some odd, weird ones. I think I'm going to have this be forward. It has the nicest edge. I mean, I'm going to go through and sand them, but it has the nicest edge where everything's even, and it doesn't have these little holes, or where the plastic ones would clip together. You put a clip. They're hollow, the plastic ones from Bandai, and you would put a clip there. And but I wanted to pick some iconic ones. I probably should have picked ones with the big round square things that go up, that you know if you see it, you'd like, oh, that's the Death Star for sure. But these are common to see in the thing, so I figured I would just do this. This is so simple. You know, I was going to try to light that one up, and it was just a pain. R2's all detailed up. Pretty good. It's going to be hard to see. But the amount of detail I need to do, because all that down there is gone. It's going to be hidden, so. So he's all up. These have been done. They're just waiting to get glued on, but I'm waiting to do them last because they will be fragile and in the way all the time. So what I want to do with this is going to get drilled right there. And hopefully that should give me enough, resin. I can stick some JB Weld down there, or super glue, or both. So what is this? This is a 1/4-inch tube, if I remember correctly. Simple hobby store brass tubing. 6.4 millimeters, which should be, I'll put it in inches, 1/4 inch, or 2.520. That's a little hair bigger. So I need a drill bit. This should be interesting to drill. I'm wondering if I should drill from here, come out. And 1/4 inch is what, the second step? Yeah, okay. So barely any walking at all. But just so when we blast through, I don't catch on to the counter and table. Now I'm just through the whatever that smallest size is, 3/16 or something. Let me get my garbage can. I'm not all the way through, like, with the right size yet. But look how good that, if you can see it, that hole is nice and crisp and clean on both ends. And that's what you want. So let's take it to the next notch. And it'll probably, because these aren't deep, I'll have to hit both ways. Just to make sure. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot all about these Death Star plates that I had, because they're great. And there we go. That's nice, hole drilled, and nice and clean. Now let's see if this fits perfectly. Perfectly. Yeah, and that'll give me plenty of, I think what I'll do is I'll stick some, of the, JB Quick weld in there. It's a 2-part. You got the, what they call the steel, and here's your hardener. And it's a 1-to-1. You know, if you want to work more working time, put less hardener in it. That'll work. Get that shit out of there. It's actually a JB weld, probably. But I wanted to get this hole at least drilled before I paint it. There we go. And that'll give plenty of. We might even just go with a super glue, because then I can just pour it down in there, hit it with quicks, and it should hold it just fine. Because I'm going to have the bottom of this be the weight hitting on the bottom, and then whatever I do, I'm going to dig a. This is the front, right? Yeah. What I'll do is I'm going to router a trench. I'm probably going to stay away from that crack. We'll come out and we'll go out the back here. I even can juggle it back over here to get it centered, but I don't want to router a trench right on that seam, or, you know, there's not a whole lot there glued. So I'll come off and come in and come back in if I want it centered. And this one's just going to be a wire. There's no real like place to put a switch. I guess, well, no, it's hollow, so you can. I guess I could probably find a switch that would fit in here and hollow this out and make it come out one of these, you know, or a jack. But it's just being just. You're seeing a wire come up to it anyway, so I might as well just have the wire stick out. I'll use one of these that I used like on the snow speeder and all these smaller ships. I'll just run one of these and you just plug a jack into them. And all I have to do is just make a small hole for that to come out. And bada bing, bada boom. So I might leave that out because I will need it sooner or later. I'm hoping that it won't take much to paint this because it's just gray. Then I do some shadings and a wash and some rust and pastels, and that's pretty much it. So I'm wondering if I should do some of the trenching now. And if I do, I don't have a router right now. I have it somewhere else. If I do, that works really good, but it's such a small blade to get in there. Alright, try it, but like I said, I'm going to have to add an angle. Is that? Nope. That's the front. So that's got the nicest side. And I want it to look like that going over, so. And I want that in the back corner, so. This is the way we're going to go. We're going to come out like this. And all I do is cut a little notch in this, but I still want this to touch, to put all the support there. If this was thicker, I would drill a big hole and then a smaller hole so that this would sit and then the wires could continue. I have plenty of depth here, so we're going to it makes good snow. Well, that would be perfect snow. It looks like it snowed on my hand. And it's so staticky, like it's sticking to everything. To get the vacuum up here. It is everywhere. It just floats in the air, just like snow. Oh my goodness. What a mess. Ay, ay. So we'll come out here a little bit. Oh my god, it just goes up into the air. It doesn't like fall like normal, like plastic chipping. Should have done this outside. Yeah, I'll just run the vacuum. Just like, gotta get clean anyway, but man. You kidding me? Plastic chipping, you just do that and everything falls down to the ground. This stuff just floats around like snow. Alright. Something's up with this Dremel, like, there you go. Like I gotta kick it into high gear to get it in low gear. I don't know if I'm going to need much here. Let's see if I can get that. Goodness. What a mess. I mean, it's sticking to the walls of the trash can. It's so light and fluffy. Now let's see if these are, because this is the big test. Alright. Those. Ooh, and I think my gluing was not quite set yet, or I shouldn't have pressed that hard. I'll have to throw a little more glue down in there. That sucks. Oh, that's been curing for a while, I thought sure. It's still pretty solid. I think the JB weld's holding. I think that was the super glue that just cracked. Yeah, because the JB weld's still on there. Well, I'll just trickle a little more super glue here in the bottoms, the thin stuff. But what I was trying to do, before I almost broke it, trying to see if I can get this in here, but since it is giving me a struggle, let's do it a little more. This wire doesn't have to go that far in, but I want it pretty far in. I want it to get to like here. So if I can get it to that. I'll even just get rid of. Yeah, I'm gonna have to run a vacuum right after this video segment because that's a lot of fuzzies everywhere. I don't want it in everything or on everything. All right, so if I can get this to shoop around here, then we'll just like that, and then I'll tighter better because then when I glue it, she'll stay. There we go. And then this is the pocket where I can get a good solder joint and put shrink tube and everything right there. So that's perfect. I like to clean that up. That looks like shite. It's actually where a bubble is, so it's not really my fault. And then on the, yeah, so I also had to make a new way to attach it to the X-Wing, because the X-Wing was going to do this little slide where you push, it was like just a slit in the X-Wing, you push the stand up and then it clipped, you know, the ship like back and clipped, because the stand had this piece that kind of did this, and you stuck that up inside and then the ship clipped in there. So, you know, I got to set the round piece, so I had to finagle that and then putty it and touch up the paint. It's sitting there drying now, so I'll show you that in a little bit. I just figured I'd do all this messing with right now. We should probably clean this up too. And what I'm thinking there is just so it has enough. Alright, empty this trash can out because I think every time I throw something in there it's going to put a poof of this stuff up. But yeah, that'll give me a good area to solder and shrink tube everything. But then it'll stick out. Like that. There we go. Perfect. So, yeah, it's even sticking to my glasses. It's so staticky. Alright, well, now I can send this over to paint and get this painted. So I was come back and do an update once she's painted, and we'll do maybe, I don't know if I'll show you doing a little weathering I'm going to do on it or what, but we'll be back with the painting on that. See you soon. Okay, here we are at the paint booth. I'm going to keep the fan off. This, to me, acrylic's not horrible, so that way you can hear me. But, yeah, nothing to it but to do it. I already got the paint in there, so I know I'm going to want to hit in here. Yeah, it's German gray. It looks like black. We're just looking to get some shading, making spots like that. Definitely get in there. Now you're gonna just pick a grid and go. Like something you want to add a little detail to. Bad thing about when it's my airbrush is active is you can't get the fine. I'd like to hit some of the grid lines. Simulate some depth. No reason to the madness, just kind of finding things that just help give depth. Yeah, that's definitely giving it something. Try to hit a lot of those low spots with to simulate some shadowing. And I think that's maybe mainly all I want to really do to that. I don't want to go too dark. And in some of this I can go across and just everything's coming out of this bin. Like you can go across and and pull some of it back and give that and knock some of the painting off, airbrushing off the edges, and that's kind of why I hit those edges. too worried about if I hit over on things, because I knew it was going to knock this down. And there you go. I'm happy with that. I wonder if I should get these grids a little. Yeah. And that really gives it that weathered look to it. So, do I have paint still? Oh, should get some water. Do I have paint still in the gun? Sure do. Thin her down a little more. The way it was acting there. Alright, and then I think we can start doing some of the painting on the X-Wing itself. But yeah, that I'm really happy with. And then we'll do some of the rust and stuff like that in small areas. Not too much, because, I mean, that thing's... It's a space station. It's kind of like always in space, so...